guys, welcome back to another video on The Walking Dead. What if Shane survived? And we're going to be continuing the series today with another part, so let's get into it. So we start off where we left from last time. It's where the governor had his katana on Herschel's throat. And as the governor is about to strike, blam! Shane lets off a shot with the shotgun, shooting the governor's arm. Then Rick shoots at the governor, and then Shane would yell at everyone to start shooting and stuff. And Merle and Daryl start firing as they're with Rick and Shane right now. And the second the firing is started, David is killed. And this gives Herschel and Michonne enough time to escape from Woodbury's army, and they'd start running towards the prison. And they'd eventually make it back safely. And in the crossfire, Karen is also sadly killed. And Axel and Carol would come out as they weren't there when the governor first came, and they were just in their cell block taking care of the sick people in the prison, because the prison flu could still happen in this universe. I just forgot to mention it. They'd come out and they'd start seeing all the people at war dying, Karen and David dead. So they would think fast and take Lori and also Judith and also Carl to a safe cell block, so they could all five of them could be safe, and Axel will protect them, and Carol will see if Lori and Carl and Judith are all okay, and provide them what they need, as the group's main priority right now is to take care of these little kids. And not Lori isn't a little kid, she's the mother of these two, but the group's main priority is to help raise Carl and Judith. And they'd all rush down to a cell block, but then they would see the governor's army coming into the prison, and they're in Lori and Carl's cell block. And the governor's army would start shooting up the place, shooting at Lori, Carl, Judith, Carol, and Axel, while they also kill some other random prison residents, that one extra character, that one prison extra, Luke or Greg, characters like those. But then they'd be saved by T-Dog, who pulls them into a cell and hides them there, as he tells them that if we run out of the cell block, they'll see us and we'll get gunned down. And T-Dog tells them that he's going to make a quick little distraction, and then we're all going to get out, including T-Dog saying, I'm also going to come with you guys to, protect you later on. And T-Dog says, just let me do this real quick. You guys stay here. After I make the distraction, we all run out, okay? And the reason T-Dog said the distraction is because he's planning to sacrifice himself for Carol, Axel, Carl, and Lori and Judith. So, yeah, that's kind of sad. And then T-Dog would pop out and he'd have his gun out, but then all he would see is Morgan killing the governor's men. And one of the people Morgan would have killed was Alicia. I'm not sure if that's how you say her name, but it was something like that, if I remember correctly. And that was Tara's girlfriend in season 4, and Morgan would kill her in this universe, not Lizzie. And Daryl would still end up blowing up the tank in this universe by putting a grenade in it. And he would still aim his crossbow at Mitch, and he would still end up killing Mitch. And in this universe, Julio would still be going all crazy, and he'd be killing Woodbury soldiers left, right, and center. But eventually, he'd also die out by getting shot multiple times by the governor's army in the back. And we would see Shane, who's fighting the governor's army, but then he's tackled to the ground by the governor. But then Rick would come in from behind and start choking the governor. But then Rick is shot by one of the governor's men. And Shane would rush over to Rick, completely ignoring the governor, trying to help Rick up. Basically he'd be trying to get him up or something. And meanwhile, the governor's on the ground, who's already been shot in the arm already, and was just in a chokehold for a good 20 seconds about. But then he'd slowly start getting up. And when the governor gets up, he's about to shoot at Shane and kill him, and also Rick. The governor would be shot down by Merle, as he's finally got revenge for the governor betraying him for no reason back in season 3 and trying to kill him many times. So this would give Merle sort of like a full redemption arc. Like that would be the completion of his like redemption, and now he'd be like fully accepted as a member of the group. And the governor would be on the ground bleeding out, and the governor would slowly get up and he'd start walking away. But then we'd see Michonne walking around killing the governor's men with her katana that she like got back from the governor. And she'd see the governor just trying to walk away from the battle. But then Michonne launches her katana straight into the governor's back, stabbing him. And the governor would suffer every moment of it. And then he'd slowly start like choking on his own blood a little. And then he'd spit out his own blood. And then he'd fall to the ground. But then the governor would start to try to like breathe and just try to crawl away. But then Daryl comes in from the back and he shoots the governor in the back with his crossbow. And the arrow would go clean through the governor, and eventually he'd fall. And the group just leave him to sort of just die. So the governor would just bleed out and die on the ground right there, right then. But now it's time for the prison groups on who is in which group after the group like leave the prison, because like, there was a lot of like just them being on the road with like random parts of the group together. But let's see who's in what type of group. Group 1 would be Rick, Shane, Daryl, Merle, Herschel, Michonne, Beth, and Zach. And in this universe, Rick believes that Carl and Lori and Judith are all dead, and he'd be kind of depressed. Well, not kind of, he'd be like really depressed. So like he'd like sort of just like not really want to lead, but he'd just sort of go along with everyone. And in this group, he wouldn't really be leading it. It would mainly be like maybe like Daryl, or maybe like Shane, or perhaps even Merle or Herschel. And group 2 would be Carol, Axel, Carl, Lori, T-Dog, Judith, Patrick, Morgan, and last but not least, Tyrese. And for group 3, it stays the same with Maggie, Bob, and Sasha. And for group 4, it would still consist of Tara, Glenn, Eugene, Abraham, and last but not least, Rosita. But anyways, guys, that'll be it for today, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed, and bye-bye!